The new Superman movie is starting to cast. Zelda is pretty awesome, and Dead by Daylight is getting a character I did not expect. All that and more today on Nerd Culture News, where I bring you facts about fiction. So as most of us know, the DC Universe is getting a, pseudo-reboot with James Gunn and Peter Safran, and, we know that Henry Cavill is gone as Superman, but one that a lot of people aren't thinking about is, Jesse Eisenberg is also gone. He is no longer going to be our Lex Luther. And with that, there are pretty much nearly confirmed casting news that Nicholas Hoult could very well be our next Lex Luthor for Superman Legacy, where they're looking for a younger Superman. I'm not saying that Nicholas Hoult is someone that I would have chosen as my first pick for Lex Luthor, but I do enjoy him quite a bit, seeing him in things like Renfield or Warm Bodies, or where I originally know him from Skins, the UK series, not the American trashy one. I still will say it's not the Lex Luthor that I think of when I think of Lex Luthor. Although he is a very intelligent person, Lex Luthor is usually portrayed as, quite a muscular guy. Tall, statuesque even, so going for these slightly more kooky style actors really makes me think that maybe they don't know what Lex Luthor is supposed to come off as. But I will hold my major judgments until I see what Nicholas Hoult does, because I do have a lot of faith in him as an actor. They're definitely going for a younger group of people for this upcoming Superman, and I don't know if that's a good thing, but at least we know that if it does do well, we'll be able to have a lot of those actors for quite some time, which I think is what they're honestly aiming for at this point. Blumhouse put out its first sneak preview at Five Nights at Freddy's, and I have to say, it looks like it's going to be very entertaining. Although it is going for a very creepy aesthetic, I love the fact that we're still getting a lot of the playful nature of it. They're going in and giving you that early 90s kind of Chuck E. Cheese feel, and yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. Especially since we have Jim Henson's Creature Workshop doing the animatronics in this, which makes me so happy. I love seeing practical effects as often as we can, even though I am somebody that was trained in the 3D effects industry. I just think that practical works a lot better, especially when it comes to things like horror, and they should dial it back a bit on the CGI when they can. We really didn't get a whole lot from the trailer, but they are definitely laying down the foundation of just trying to make sure that everybody knows that this is coming. I think it's going to be a very fun movie, and I hope that you also enjoyed this little clip, even though it really didn't show that much, mostly just gave you tone and let you know that yes, it is going to be coming out. So are you excited for the Five Nights at Freddy's movie? I didn't even really play the games a whole lot, but I still think that this is going to be really entertaining, and it might be a little bit lighter of a horror movie and a little more silly that your friends that might not like too scary movies could still probably enjoy. So it's been almost a week that we have had Legend of Zelda: The Tears of the Kingdom, and I have to say that I am really enjoying this game. I think that it's fantastic. I know that it's going to be one of the top 5 video games of the year, and I still don't know what the story is. I have been playing for hours and hours and hours, and I have just been exploring. The world in this game is huge. And I will say, I think that this one is a little bit better than the first, simply because we are getting a lot more story. The world feels a little bit more lived in, and I think that that was one of the biggest complaints that I had with the first game. But also the difficulty is up. This game is a bit harder, in my opinion, than Breath of the Wild. Not saying that it is an overly difficult game, because it is still playable, but I did notice that I am dying quite a bit more than I did in the first game, and I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. The first game felt like I breezed through a little bit too easily, so putting up those barriers of difficulty make it where this game is going to last quite a bit longer, and as even with the last one, there is so much to explore that I don't see me being done with this game anytime soon, and even when I get through the main story, I will more than likely go back multiple times just to explore the world. So far, I'm just gonna say that this game deserves about an 8.5 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it's perfect enough that I think that anyone that owns a Nintendo Switch should own this game. Are you a Dead by Daylight fan? Well, I kind of am. I've played a few times. It's not necessarily my favorite game in the world, but with the right group of people, it can be really fun, much like a lot of other multiplayer games. But one thing was announced in a little trailer earlier today that has my interest. It's looking like sometime in July, Nicolas Cage is coming to Dead by Daylight. I don't know if he is going to be one of like the people that are running away from said horror character, or if Nicolas Cage is the horror character. I'm kind of hoping that he is the horror character, because that opens up some really funny ideas if he just has powers that are related to his past films. Like, just imagine being an evil Nicolas Cage going after people and sending out the bees! Dead by Daylight pretty much comes with almost every gaming pass that you can get. I'll probably at least give this a try just to see how entertaining it is, and if I can just run around as Nicolas Cage bothering people, because, well, that sounds like a pretty fun time, even if I'm awful at the game. Who are some other celebrities that you would like to see in a horror game like this? Because it really has my mind racing to think of who would be really entertaining to see on there. Like, I want to play as Danny DeVito going after people. That seems like it would be really fun for me. Let me know in the comments. And thank you for watching the newest episode of Nerd Culture News. Make sure you go and give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. Don't give us a thumbs down, that just seems a little bit rude. But if you want to talk about anything we discussed today, well, the comments are down there somewhere. And make sure that you're subscribed so that way you can make sure to catch all of the news and shenanigans that I am bringing to you on here. And as always, make sure that you have yourself a beautiful day.